and Wang Liang were led into a massive, cavern-like training ground. There, a large group of soldiers was in a desperate battle, using crackling blue energy to hold back a monstrous, spiky black creature with a single glowing red eye. The beast fought back with fierce power, shooting a devastating beam of red energy that tore through the soldiers' ranks, causing cries of pain and fear. Standing on a raised platform, the tough, red-haired officer watched the scene with a critical eye. Fang Yi, who had been brought before her, immediately recognized the creature's power as a mix of two different attributes. The officer confirmed his thought, saying the monster was a perfect mix of the dark and flame attributes, making it exceptionally fierce and cruel. She added that it had already seriously injured several of her soldiers. A caption identified her as a 3-star Ghost Axe Realm officer named Ji Ruoyan. Spotting Wang Liang, she barked his name, and he immediately stood at attention. She furiously asked why he had brought an unauthorized person into a restricted area, but before he could explain, she cut him off. Her expression softened a little as she told him to forget it, explaining that the situation was urgent and they needed him to join the formation immediately. She then turned her attention to Fang Yi. She saw nothing special about him, noting that his spiritual energy was only slightly active. She briefly wondered if he was the powerful pioneer they were looking for, but dismissed the thought, knowing she had to focus on the battle. She gave him a stern warning. Since he was Wang Liang's friend, she wouldn't say much, but he was in a restricted area, and his life was now his own responsibility. He was also sworn to secrecy about anything he saw. Fang Yi simply replied that he understood. With that done, Ji Ruoyan took command. She picked up a massive energy cannon and shouted the names of 2 of her soldiers. The 2 men immediately jumped into action, their bodies covered in blue energy as they fought the monster up close. Ji Ruoyan then aimed her cannon and fired a massive blast of pure energy at the creature. The attack hit the monster head-on, creating a huge explosion, but the creature was far from beaten. It let out an angry roar as its shadowy form began to pulse with a terrifying red light, its fanged mouth growing larger and more threatening. It was clear that the attack had only made it angrier, causing its mutation to get worse. The enraged monster lashed out with its massive claws, and one soldier shouted a warning to his comrade. The other soldier managed to block the attack, but the force of the blow sent him flying backward. Ji Ruoyan immediately took charge, ordering her team not to be careless and to keep their distance. She knew they had to finish the creature off before it could complete its evolution. Watching from the side, Fang Yi was impressed by the soldier's performance. He saw a well-trained team of comrades who trusted each other completely, with incredible discipline and coordination. He knew that every person was essential, and that when they worked together, they could unleash a power far greater than their individual strengths. This thought, however, was immediately broken when he realized the monster's power was increasing at a scary rate. He shouted at them to run, warning them that they were no match for the creature in its current state. But his warning was lost in the chaos. The monster shot out a massive blast of dark purple energy, sending the soldiers flying. Ji Ruoyan refused to back down. She ordered her team to raise their alert level and upgrade the restricted area's mutation level. With a furious roar, she commanded that no one was to retreat. It was too late. The monster's transformation was complete. It now stood as a huge, demonic beast, covered in black and red flames, its eyes glowing with pure evil. One of the soldiers shouted a terrified warning. The evil dog had fully mixed with the dark attribute and completed its mutation. The creature's single eye, now a burning red orb, focused on a new target. It fixed its gaze on Wang Liang, who could only stare back, frozen in terror. As the monster prepared to strike, Ji Ruoyan and Fang Yi both reacted in horror, realizing with a jolt that Wang Liang was in mortal danger. Just as the monster completed its evolution, lunging forward in a blast of power, a soldier was violently thrown backward by a surge of energy. Ji Ruoyan immediately shouted for her team's attention, announcing that the C-level evil dog had fully mutated and was now reclassified as a B-level threat, requiring an immediate change in their battle plan. The soldier who had been thrown to the ground coughed up a spray of blood. Fang Yi rushed to his side, catching him and asking if he was all right. The injured soldier explained that he had been trying to send spiritual energy to the monster's restraining collar, but the creature's evolution had caused the device to violently explode. Despite coughing up a black, thick liquid, the soldier tried to be brave, telling Fang Yi not to worry about the officers of Restricted Area 19. Fang Yi could only look on with a grim, angry expression. Realizing her normal weapons were now useless, Ji Ruoyan dropped her heavy energy cannon to the ground. She stood before her remaining troops, her determination unshaken. She gave a final, desperate order. No matter what they had to do, even if it cost them their very lives. They could not let this B-level mutation escape the restricted zone. But just as she and her team were about to make their last stand, Fang Yi stepped directly in front of her, blocking her path. Ji Royan demanded to know what he thought he was doing, but he ignored her. His eyes and hand began to glow with a brilliant blue light as arcs of raw lightning crackled around him, a clear sign that he was about to join